At age 14, when I had my Fontan, the old school Fontan, because the new one is so far in advance from that last one, and kids are going to do so much better because of it. But I remember coming out of my surgery, and on the right side of my bed was this little girl. And immediately I was like, I want my mom. Who are you? She was very pale. She was not doing very well, and I learned that she had some form of cystic fibrosis. And she just had this smile that radiated from ear to ear to the point where it was almost obnoxious. And I thought, aren't you in pain? Aren't you suffering? But she couldn't talk. She just smiled. Well, I left the hospital, and 6 months later, from her parents, we learned that she had passed away. And what I didn't know was that it took a lot of energy for this little girl to leave her room and go down a level into the intensive care to see kids, as though she was giving all the last energy she had to us. Her spirit taught me a valuable principle: optimism. It's a kind of heart stimulant, the digitalis of failure. That one's for the doctors. And I've made optimism my life's philosophy. My parents, who raised 8 kids, which is not easy, but I'm from Utah. It's kind of a Osmond thing. I married a beautiful girl from 10 kids. It's contagious out there. They're making lots of babies. But so much family support. And when you have support, it's kind of hard to wallow in your own suffering. And when I saw so many kids in their own sickness as I waited for my heart transplant in a children's hospital, because my condition is a congenital defect, the experts are not in the adults' hospitals, which is another issue I could get into that we need to be prepared for with funding and awareness, so that these kids, when they get older, like me, they have a place to go. For many years, I was lost in a system. But I finally, when I went into heart failure, went and stayed in a children's hospital, and of course, I'd walk down the hallway with my oxygen next to these little kids in their gowns, not wearing anything, and I was glad I was wearing pants. And you see these cute little kids, and your heart breaks, and of course they looked at me like, what are you doing in my hospital, man? And I told them I was Benjamin Button, so. But after I received my transplant, I went on my first walk, and I walked to this window, and outside the window on the Salt Lake City Wasatch Front, I saw this mountain that shadowed my home all growing up, Mount Olympus. It's about a 10,000 feet hike. And I said to myself right there and then, that's the mountain my brother, who passed away, would hike all the time. My brothers would go with him. I had a heart defect. I could never do it. I was too tired. But I said to myself right there and then, I have a new heart. Somebody gave me a gift, and I'm going to climb this mountain to celebrate life and everything that is so beautiful in this world, because there are so many blessings in our lives, and if we count them every day, our lives will forever change. And so it came to the point where I was going to climb this mountain, the anniversary of my brother's passing. This was in June. And I went a week before to see if I could do it. And halfway up that mountain, I got maybe half a mile. It's about 4 miles up. I just got depressed, and I said, this is stupid. I have a blog. I've told people I'm going to do this. I'm a fool. I printed t-shirts. I can't do this. It was so hard and so miserable. I thought, I can't do this. But then the day came and everybody was at the base, friends, family, all wearing their t-shirts of Celebrate Life. And the motivation to climb a mountain, there was a purpose for my brother, for family, for everybody. And we began this climb. And you can see in this picture, as we get to the peak of this steep mountain, you're climbing, about 4,000 or 5,000 feet in less than 3 miles. And there's a steep section, and I couldn't get up by myself. I needed my father to grab me up. And this man had his prostate removed 3 months before. But we need people like this in our lives. Because when life gets hard, as we're climbing these mountains, these obstacles that seem impossible, and we can't get there, there's somebody to take our hand and pull us up to where we need to be. It could be anyone willing to take that hand down and grab somebody up. Tonight, we have an opportunity to be that hand, pulling people up to where they need to be and where they need to go. Finally, I ascended. And you can see the beautiful Salt Lake Valley. We're close to the ski resorts and beautiful place. And it was just amazing to get up top, to be there. Finally, I love this from Bob Hope. If you haven't any love in your heart, you have the worst kind of heart trouble. We need men and women to do remarkable things. This wonderful couple that started this organization are giants, rock stars. I'm a musician, I call them rock stars. They're amazing. Every one of you here tonight, thank you for being here. We're gonna have a wonderful night.